Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. This is Anonymous T. Hope you're having an amazing day today. Today, I wanted to do a quick synopsis, quick review, not a full breakdown of the series, but just kind of a quick synopsis of a show that I just watched on Netflix entitled Rebelde. Apparently, this is a continuation of a telenovela that took place back in 2004. I didn't know it was a sequel. But first impressions of the show, it gave me a mix of Netflix's Spanish show Elite as well as the US show Glee. And it wasn't as cheesy as Glee, but I felt from what I'm reading from other reviewers who watched the original Rebelde show that they felt some parts were watered down and not as coming of age as the original. But I felt it did enough to keep my attention through the 8 episodes. Most of the episodes were anywhere from a half hour to 45 minutes or so. So it wasn't too bad. And I, really kind of was captivated with a few of the characters. There were some obvious similarities, though. Like, I felt the character MJ was loosely based off of Santana, which was Naya Rivera's character on Glee. I felt the Dixon character was definitely based off of Noah, aka Puck, from the show Glee. I felt like Jana, who was supposed to be portrayed as the superstar, was, basically the Leah Michelle of the show. And I felt Luca, he had reminded me actually of somebody that was on the Elite show. Like, gave me lots of similarities in terms of just like the rawness of his character and this and that. So, the premise of the show essentially was these 6 students that it's really based on are incoming freshmen into this Mexican college. However, their focus is to either be successful singers or successful musicians. And so the premise of the series is they all have to audition for this battle of the bands, which whoever wins gets to like record exclusively with like whoever the top pop artist is in the country, as well as there was also a conflict with a secret society group called the Lodge, which was mixed with upperclassmen that were there to like haze a lot of the people, some of the underclassmen, as well as try to recruit some people as well. And if you were a part of the lodge, you essentially were protected and got away with a whole bunch of different things. However, it came to a climax because a lot of things started to happen over the course of the series to a lot of people, and it got to a point to where people were trying to expose the lodge and stop all of these bad things from happening, or eventually they would just essentially run everything. So like I said, it did enough to keep my interest. There were a couple of love triangle storylines, with, Jana and 2 guys after her, and then also the conflict of 2 females liking the same guy. Also, some interesting arcs of, the people's family lives. Some who came from wealth, some who were hiding that they came from wealth, some who had some issues with their family, and this was like their kind of escapism to go to this music college and different things of that nature. So I mean, overall, it was a decent show. I certainly can go into more details and more of a breakdown of specifically everything that happened each and every single episode. But like I said, vibes really was like a mix of Elite without the murder plot, coupled in with the TV show Glee that was less cheesy, that wasn't as much musical performances contained within every episode. So I felt for that it focused a lot more on the characters, and I felt that the 6 characters that it did focus on was pretty much like a pretty strong cast. Overall, I would say my favorites probably were MJ, Dixon, and Luca, and probably Esteban, just because of the arcs of their stories, and even at some point, some of it was villainous. I at least appreciated what they delivered. And I actually felt that casting made a mistake and they should have made MJ the star and not Jaina, or Hannah. So I was really kind of weirded out by that because it was like, she kind of had like an ugly Betty moment where she had like blossomed into like the nerd, the innocent girl, into like the pretty, sexy, dominating force, who was a talented and amazing singer. And I felt that was like a huge mistake not making her like the main character out of the bunch. So that was one thing. Also, um, they also addressed a teacher student affair. It was one of the storylines, and it actually didn't get exposed. It wasn't revealed at first, but then once you started to get to know a lot of the different characters, then you started to see some of the different dynamics and some of the things that people were doing and how far people were willing to go, to be considered, the creme de la creme of, this particular music program. Um, Lots of different sabotages of people trying to get ahead. Very little focus actually on academics. There were a few scenes that involved like a biology class and even, a couple scenes involving a music class, but it was more so to push forward a storyline that related back to the character's family life and why different reasons that each of them were there. So that is all I'm going to say for right now. If you want more of a detailed analysis of like each of the episodes, and I can dive a lot more into the plot in terms of what happened. I didn't want to spoil too much in terms of what actually takes place in the series, just in case for those of you who might be interested in watching it. But it is a decent show, enough to keep my attention. It was enough for me to just binge watch it last night and kind of just see what it was about. And actually gave me a break from watching The Witcher. So it did at least enough of that. But I don't know whether or not specifically it's going to get a season 2 or not. Because I felt like if it didn't get a season 2, then it technically did enough to kind of wrap up most of the storylines, even though I felt a couple of storylines they kind of waited too long to like drag out to get to a certain climax, and I felt that it kind of left the door open for a few things to pick up in season 2 if the show were to get renewed. So it just kind of, I guess, matters on how the performance of the show overall goes with everything. But that mainly is all that I have. I didn't want to give too much away, in terms of what happens and, who ends up, with whom, or who ends up successful, because if you want a detailed analysis on that, I certainly can do a more detailed breakdown in another video. But I just wanted to give a quick synopsis because it was a new show and it's starting to get some buzz, it's starting to get some traction on social media as well. So just wanted to, put that out there and give my initial thoughts on everything from what I saw from my end. And if you guys do check it out and do want some more details on that, I will be sure to do another video and really break down and do a deep dive into all of the characters and all of the storylines and all of the twists and turns that took place and everything. But that is all. So those are all my thoughts. Those of you, if it's your first time viewing my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you come back another time. Please check out my playlist of other videos that I've done previously. Those of you who have been back multiple times, thank you so much for your continued support. I am grateful and thankful and appreciative in each and every single one of you. Those of you, also, I read all of your comments. I try to interact with each and every single one of you. I appreciate the support. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the instant that I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I will talk to you guys again very soon and have a very nice day.